It was minus 30, in January. I was walking slower than somebody on a stroller. And I've always been an active person. I've always been somebody who's at the gym. But now I can't be at the gym. From there, I started working on recovery, how I can heal myself. And that has kind of led me into today when I help others recovering from those injuries. The genuine desire to help. A regular, health practitioner, they look at a person, they start thinking, oh, how can I diagnose them into a problem? Because first they have to diagnose you into one problem and they'll solve the problem. The way I look into it, how can I help them? Which areas I can help them? Somebody can give you even $1 billion, but if they take your health, you'll never trade it. Movement is medicine.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rise Podcast. Happy New Year. May 2026 bring you blessings and peace and success. My name is Hani Mohari. I'm the host. Today, I have a special guest. I have Abel Mirdha. He's a founder of Hands-On Recovery. He's a stretch therapist and a personal trainer. Also, too, he helps people, move, better, feel better by using fitness as like a escape, as a way to get out, because fitness is a big thing, man. So, Abel, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you so much, Hani, for introducing me. Again, the goal is to always help people and, especially entrepreneurs, because they get so busy in life, right? And dealing with everything, sometimes it gets harder to focus on that time into your mobility and into your lifestyle. So that's when, somebody like me comes in, because I can really give you the, the short way or even like a better express way to fitness, right? So that you can keep track and always keep moving forward.
100%, bro. Health is wealth, man. So Abel, tell me, bro, how did you get started in fitness, man? What made you decide to get into fitness? What was that turning point?
Yeah, brother. So the turning point of my life was actually back in 2029, beginning of 2029, 31st of 2028, I injured myself. So my ankle, my right side ankle, it was actually twisted entirely. So after that, excruciating pain. And what happened is, because it was right at the end of the year, so the place I was working for, WCV, not covered. I was an international student, so I didn't have insurance. I went to the hospital, and after I went to the hospital, they told me I have to wait 6 hours to see the doctor, and even to see the doctor, I have to pay $5,000 because I didn't have an insurance. So in that moment, I, of course, couldn't get that help, right? So I came home, and I've always been an active person. I've always been somebody who's at the gym, right? But now I can't be at the gym. And I was also working a physical intensive job as well. So the goal was to find a way I can recover myself. So that was the moment that I started, working on myself, working on how I can learn to move again, how to get myself to go up the stairs. Man, it was minus 30, in January. I was walking slower than somebody on a stroller. So that's the struggle, So it doesn't matter how new somebody is at the gym. I know where they're coming from because I have been that weak. So from there, I started working on recovery, how I can heal myself. And that has kind of led me into today when I help others, recovering from those injuries.
So the turning point for you was really experiencing it, seeing it firsthand. And then now you're like, okay, I actually want to help people doing this.
Yes.
Yeah, and I always tell people, like, you don't start off being an expert. You go through a problem first. You discover this problem for yourself. And now you feel like, okay, I've gone through it. Now I want to help more people. The turning point for you was, okay, I'm going through this pain, but I'm not just going to stick with this pain. I'm going to actually take it and do something with it. And I think most people think in order to become an expert, you have to figure everything out first. No, you first have to go through the problem, and then you go through that problem, you solve it for yourself, and then you can help people. So tell me your transition from essentially figuring this out and then coming to Canada, which is a brand new place and brand new, especially being an international guy. What was that turning point like? Because where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from Bangladesh, and growing up, I was in a military school, so I did grow up in the discipline part of it, right? Whenever I was to get punished, it was like staying on a plank until the lieutenant tells you not to, right? You are late in the class, you go and do a lap, right? So being physically active was that much important to me, and I used to fight as well. So I used to do kickboxing. That was a big part of me, staying back home. But then when I moved to Canada, the training time and everything got a little bit harder, which a lot of people always say that, they move to a different place and their life changes. But what I have done is regardless how hard the nights were, regardless if I was working overnights, I was working long night shifts or long, morning shifts, I would still work out. And I should tell myself that I'm going to keep working out at least 2 good workouts a week. So which is what? 52 workouts, Now, if you think in a year, right? So the main goal is always to keep yourself consistent. So that's how I've been able to keep myself consistent, right? And over the time, that has translated well to everything that I was doing. Because even when I got injured, if I was just a normal person who have never really focused on health, I would not be able to recover as well as I did. Because again, everybody wants to be perfect. They're reaching that perfect, time to start. January is coming. Everybody's looking for the perfect time and perfect things to get into their fitness. The goal is to start today. Start today, whichever you can. Take a small step rather than thinking about running a mile. So that's how I go by. That's my philosophy of life.
No, 100%, man. I think you have to start, and especially you being from India and Bangladesh, I think a lot of people assume that people have things, things get handed to them, but you don't. So for you, it's you had to come here, you start up from scratch, and now you're building a business as well too. What's been the biggest, I probably say, like challenge or trying to maneuver and find out Canada, especially you came here by yourself as well too. So what's that been like, man? Because it's not easy. People think as it is,
Yes, of course. Like coming to a foreign country, it comes with a lot of its own challenges. Cultural shock, being able to even learn how to implement your skills into the economy. That's a big part, right? And for a lot of years, even I thought myself, oh, I'm a brown guy. I'm a brown guy getting into an industry which is mostly led by, let's say, other ethnicities. Yeah. So ask yourself the question: who is the fit South Asian person in your life? Now, if you don't have any answer for it, that's something that people like me who's been working to change, right? We're looking to bring that change into our life because I see a lot of South Asians coming in focusing on IT or focusing on restaurant business or something like that. My goal was to do something different, something that I was passionate about, something that I was living each day. And initially that was something that I was working on because I was working under other people's banners. I was working under, other fitness companies, like leading fitness companies in North America. I was working under, like some companies where I was selling products that I was not believing in because that was something that you have to do as an immigrant to get by. So there was a point that I felt like I had to break out of that chain, that I can't just live as an immigrant anymore. I can't just think of myself as a brown South Asian person, right? The goal was to see who Abel is, what Abel can do for people. And when I actually started focusing on that, that's when I was able to actually connect with Canadians or connect with people from all aspects of life, because I was being part of all aspects of Canada, So the moment I opened myself up, then the opportunities opened themselves to me.
No, 100%, man. It's opportunities everywhere, but you have to go take it, man.
Of course.
Abel, tell me, man, I know you told me about the story of how, like, growing up and your parents and stuff, those are... What was that like for yourself, man? Is that something that, that you look back on? Because most people don't really go through those stories, man. You told me, you grew up without having your father or something in your life. So what was that like, man? Is that something, how has that made you the man you are today? Because it's not easy because, I know you told me your parents are both not here anymore. So tell me a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, so, growing up, I was definitely a struggle. My father passed away when I was 5 years old, right? So growing up in a society where it's a male-dominated society. My mother, she was a teacher, and she raised 3 of us. So growing up, of course, the biggest thing I've seen is that if a person works hard, they can change their life. So my mother, being able to just be a school teacher, she dreamt of, sending her kids abroad. And how did she do that? She didn't have the money, but she had the education in herself. So, she always taught her how to speak proper English. Me having this big, fascination that I have for human body, guess what my mom taught? My mom taught biology. So, like we used to talk about, everything that, comes from the body, like how the bones work, how the muscles work. So a lot of people, let's say what they have learned in school, my mother has been teaching me since day one. So that's why I'm so far ahead, because, she was there always teaching me those things. Even when I moved here in Canada, there were times that I would fall into other things, but I was always call her on the video call. I'm at the gym. I'll put her on the video call and I'm going to do some exercises. And I tell her, Mom, look, I'm working on this, tell me which muscle it is. So, we've always had that relationship, and having and seeing that strong woman, changing the life for her kids, that has reflected me as well. And I try to, whenever I go anywhere, I like to bring those values in myself, because I've seen one thing my mother done that has been the biggest thing in our life. She was a giver, man. She was a giver. She has always given to people and believed in charity. So she has given to the world, and what has happened is the world has ended up giving to us. So now that she's not here anymore, I like to keep her alive in everything that I do. I like to teach people. She was a teacher. I like to give knowledge, don't gatekeep it. And at the same time, I like to be part of charity, because when the society grows together, you grow. Whatever you put out, it comes back to you.
No, 100%. That's powerful stuff you're sharing. But I think people don't really know the things you go through when you're young, but those experiences truly make who you are today, right? Like you learning those from your mom, and learning certain things, which now you look up as you get older. Now you're taking them as experiences. And I agree with you too. I think giving is out of generosity, out of love, right? You're not getting something in return.
Yeah.
People see it today. We're growing communities. We're doing, entrepreneurship. But oftentimes people are always asking, like, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this? Like, if I do this for you, what can I get in return?
Yes.
But oftentimes it's the person who just does it out of love, out of just wanting to help people, right? That's who usually wins, right? And I realize it goes back to integrity, your character, right?
Yes.
So these are foundational things that you're learning as a kid, right? Which your mom was able to pass down to you. It reflects as you get older.
Yeah.
Most people don't have a foundation, right? So their character is flawed. They don't have respect, and they realize when they get into business, they tend to come out.
Yeah.
So I think the first one is integrity. Always be willing to give, because giving is natural. It's a laws in effect. If you give, you're gonna get back in return.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I 100% agree with it, and that's why we're building communities and we're giving back to people. And oftentimes people don't understand how much work goes into it. When you're sponsoring food, when you're bringing the guest speakers, when you're putting these things together. But at the end of the day, you have to be willing to invest, and then those investments you make is gonna compound. So one day, people are going to be looking back like, oh, Handy did this for me. He created this opportunity. He connected me with this person. And that's a win for me. That's the biggest one that I could take.
You're building community. You're being
100%. Abel, so tell me, man, like what made you decide to get out of the corporate world and, say, okay, I'm going to start this business?
Oh, man. Had is asking all the hard questions in one day. So, I was doing well for myself. I was selling for this corporate company. And at this point, you feel like your life is well, you have comfortable home, you're staying there, everything is stable, right? But then there's passion that is missing in your life. So in my life, the biggest thing that was missing is I love talking about fitness. I loved helping people. And whenever I wake up and I had to, like, let's say even help a friend out for a workout or even do a workout myself, I'm full of life. But you ask me to wake up and do this project, do this sales call, maybe I'm not there fully, right? I can do it because, again, coming from an immigrant perspective, right? Like you always have to hustle. So I had the hustle in me, but the hustle was not, combined with the passion. So one day I was sleeping, tossing and turning, right? My brain was like, are we being alive? Like, let's be real. Are we alive? The amount of effort I'm putting for somebody else, for somebody else's dream and goals, I can put that for myself. Like Abel has a vision and he needs to put it out to the world. He needs a salesman. Who's going to sell for him? Might as well be me. So that was the moment I decided that, it's time to go back out in the world. It's time to help people the way I want to help people and give the best of myself. So that was the moment I had to decide, okay, it's my way to go on my way. I actually went to the job and I told my boss that, hey, Abel's going his way and I am going to give you a 2 weeks notice. Now, my boss, on the other hand, he was actually very supportive, and he told me, I can sense a small business instincts from miles away. I've been looking at you for the past few weeks, and I can see that you are full of ideas. You're bringing in these ideas to me. So I could sense it coming. So he asked me this question: do you think today, if you work for my business, you can give the same as if you had your own? I said, no, I want to work on my own. So then he said, take the day and start building your own. So here we are building my own.
That's tough, man. You gotta say enough is enough, man. And sometimes people don't know is to start a business is one thing, but to go all in is another thing. It's courage, man.
Yeah.
And I think people think like it's like when you did it, you didn't think, oh, like I'm making this decision now. People think, oh, when should I do it?
Yes.
Is it the right time now?
Yes.
But it's the courage to be able to like, okay, I'm gonna actually quit this thing that I'm doing, and I'm gonna go and pursue my dreams. And most of the times, people think when you're first starting, they think, how much am I gonna make? You're looking at your expenses and all that. You're tracking things, but it's once you jump into the unknown, that's when opportunities actually come.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize it's like opportunities come. You start your business, referrals start coming, your friends, your family, everybody wants to support you.
Yes.
So I think what most people don't know is they're afraid to make that jump. But what they don't know is on the other side, if they do make that jump, there's people who are either going to support you or are not going to support you.
Yes.
And the community is a big believer in that, because if you already was doing it for another business and you were successful at helping these people, when you do it for yourself, now you're more driven, you're more purpose driven. You have your drive has just went up even more because you feel like whatever I'm gonna make, this is my business, and what the payoff is gonna be for me. I'm building my own ownership. I'm getting my own equity, where people like to talk. And I think that's the most important thing when people are building entrepreneurship. You think, oh, I'm just gonna start my business. No, you're getting ownership of your time. You're also getting ownership of what you're gonna be building for the future to come.
Yes.
Right? For your family, for your your legacy. So I think once you understand that mindset, you're like, oh, okay, this is actually good for me to exit and see what I can do, my potential. Yeah. But why fitness though? Out of all places, Abel, why did you say, okay, I'm going to pursue fitness? Because I know you've been doing it since you were back home and you were studying and stuff. But what do you think have you've seen so far just being in fitness now over the last so many years, working with different clients?
Yes.
What do you think the biggest misperception is about fitness?
Yeah. So in fitness, of course, like being active yourself, the biggest thing that I can see is when I cannot be active, how do I feel? I feel like almost, my life has no meaning. And me as a person, if I put myself into other people's shoes, let's say, I'm working with one of my clients and I know that they never been able to, lift something off the ground, right? Because every time they come pick something up, it hurts their back. So it could be that it's stopping their life into doing some things that they love, right? So let's say, they're on a picnic, right? And their grandkid is right there. They want to lift their grandkid from the ground. If they can't do it, they don't feel, their life has that fulfilling part of it. Yeah. So when I meet somebody like that, I can connect with them into that level because you know why? Because I've lived the life. I've lived the life of moving. I know what it feels like when you can't move, when you can't do the things you love to do. If you played hockey, you got injured, can't play hockey anymore. I know what it feels like because again, I was telling you back to when I got injured, couldn't do the things I wanted to. So I know how it feels like. So, and if you compare to any other industry than to fitness, the reason me being in fitness is because as a person, believe movement is medicine. Our goal as human beings on this earth was to move, right? In old days, it used to be hunter-gatherers, right? Even now, as you pursue any goal, if you don't feel content in your body, can you actually be present, right? If you have $1 million, but you have the worst health on planet, is that $1 million worth it, right? No. Somebody can give you even $1 billion, but if they take your health, you'll never trade it, right? So health is wealth, right? So that's how I look into it, that if I can help people stay in that way so they can enjoy life. Because when you're fit, when you can move, you can enjoy life. So I can give people the gift of enjoying life and being fulfilled and carrying it within themselves. So that felt like a God's calling. To be honestly, if I'm speaking, Hani, I felt like God gave me this calling to go out there, put myself out there, use all the experiences, all the obstacles God has put me through so that I can use that experience to help people, right? And I can help people where they are. So even if you're an experienced athlete, because I've been an athlete myself, so I know where you're coming from. But also, I was telling you, I was slower than people walking on the strollers. So I know when somebody's on a stroller, on a wheelchair, the struggle that they face, right?
Yeah.
So me being able to connect them emotionally and physically, fitness is the thing that allows me continuously to do that every day.
That's a great reminder, is that like these experiences, like we all go through, like when our back is stiff, when being an athlete playing basketball. I know, like when I go running, when I do a certain activity for about an hour, I can see my back is like, because when you're playing, especially basketball, and you're playing 5-on-5, you're doing so many things. And I think you've taught me some things where your body is moving so fast, it's doing so many things at one place, right? So one small little bad move could really it can either break or make you, right? Without the right flexibility, without right mobility. And those are the things that I've been able to be a client of Abel, and he's been able to help me do that as well too, right? Where I had certain things where, because before I've always wanted to try and give, some type of like, massage or something to my body, but I've never found that kind of experience with people. But when I connected with you and I saw that you're a part of the community, you wanted to help me, and you wanted to give me that customer service, and we've been able to build relationships. It's like now I can kind of see like my movements, when I'm playing sports, when the way I'm moving, like, oh, this thing actually makes a big impact on me, right? And so I realized like just making sure you're ready before it's even happening. So like stretching before a game, or stretching, at nighttime or in the morning, right? And some of the things that you've been able to show me in person, some of the stretching and things, I've been able to take those and apply them to my own things. So I think there's so many components that people don't really know when it comes to your body. So how did you discover that? How did you were like, okay, this is, because you can kind of see someone's hands. You can kind of see if someone is standing up tall. You can see that their back is itching a little bit. How did you discover these things? Is it just from repetition, doing it for so many years, or what's that? It could be a gift as well too.
Well, I would call it three things if I have to list it. First thing you mentioned already, that's the gift, right? Because I was telling you, my mother has been teaching me how the body moves since I was very young. So she would teach me by, this is this muscle. This is how this muscle moves, right? So I've learned a lot from her. That's first thing. And learning that, being able to learn that, I feel like that was the gift. The gift was given by God in a medium through her, right? Second thing I would say is endless obsession. If I'm helping a client, I'm working with a client, right? They're dealing with some problems. You know what I do in that night? This is my first time actually sharing that, even working with you. I have, in my memory, what was that they were struggling with. I go to home that night, okay? Now I start doing extensive research on what can we do next time so that they don't deal with that anymore. What can I do for them so, they can get the help, right? So as I do that, and as I've been doing that for years, helping, hundreds of clients, what has happened is I have read through so many studies that when I look at a person right now, I can just directly say exactly where the problems are. And the third thing is the genuine desire to help. So a regular, health practitioner, they look at a person, they start thinking, oh, how can I diagnose them into a problem? Because first they have to diagnose you into one problem and they'll solve the problem. The way I look into it, how can I help them? Which areas I can help them? If I can help them in 3 areas, then 3 areas get better. If 3 areas get better, is their life better or not? It is better because now they're getting something that helps them improve. I always focus on how can I make somebody improve over time, day by day. So when I combine these three things together, obsession with God's gift, with the relentless desire to help, that's what makes me, and that's the value I want to provide to people.
No, I think that's a good point, because also a lot of times these doctors, whatever it is, prescriptions, they give you stuff right away. These things that are supposed to be better for your health or whatever. But you take them, sometimes you realize, oh, it's actually making it worse. So that's a good first approach, is to help the client actually solve that pain, because you can already see it. That's from doing experience and being able to work on so many different people. And also too, it's important that feedback is the feedback loop. When you work with a client, you can see what they're going through. Now you go home and you can look at the feedback. So that's very good, man. So Abel, now you're growing your business, right? You just started. I think you quit your job 3 months ago or so. Yeah. So now you're figuring out, okay, this is how the market works. You're looking at your clients. What's that next step for your business, and where you want to take this now?
So the next step would be, to include actually more ways to help people. So I like to think of things in a realistic term as well. So the way I think about it is my next goal is to have a bigger space where I can add in more values for people. So if somebody's looking and you have a nice sauna to sell, you let me know, because I'm looking to include a high quality infrared sauna with, what do you call it? Steam heated, okay? And red light therapy. So my goal is to combine all of that into one sauna structure. So I'm working on the prototype right now. So once I build that, that will be an added service that I'm gonna add. And also the goal is to being able to scale it in such a way so we can help more people. So right now, we're looking at serving Winnipeg only. So in the future, the goal would be to serve more of the surrounding areas as well, so we can kind of help whole Manitoba. Right? So getting the message out is going to help people to understand that, hey, sometimes, because especially for stretch therapy, sometimes people think they have to travel to Calgary or Vancouver to be able to get it, especially when it comes to fascial stretch therapy, which is what I do. So I'm the first one in Winnipeg. I'm bringing it in out of this scale, So my message is to tell people, hey, don't have to book a plane ticket, man. You can come to Winnipeg, Osborne Village. I'm right here to help you. So bring in the premium service into the neighborhood.
Yeah. No, I think growing your business across is always going to be the goal.
Yes.
So, Abel, let's say we've seen so many different clients who are dealing with different things. On a fitness level, though, for me, for example, playing basketball, I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm I'm very active, work out 5 to 6 days a week. Move as much as I can, because movement is important for me. Like you said earlier in the beginning, if I'm not moving, I feel like I'm dizzy. And when I'm waking up, I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is I go work out, because I know if I can get that workout in the morning, then I know the rest of the day I can win. And then after that, it goes more into, reading a little bit. Then, my mind, because your mind is powerful. Because once you start reading, once you get information, now, okay, things are working out a little bit. Now I can go do the next task. So after my next task, I'm on sales calls. I'm calling customers, right? And of course, I'm getting my nutrition as well too. So I think every single time, fitness comes first, though. Fitness is the most important, because I realize if I could take care of that aspect of it, then I know my day is going to be flowing. And that's why I always say health as well, because without that, I can guarantee you right now, it's tough, because momentum is also huge too. Like when you lose motivation, like when your business is not going well, you just go to work out, you're in the gym by yourself, it's quiet. Now you get a workout and you be like, okay, now I got to get back to it. Now I got to go get to it. So I think, so I'm with you 100%. Man. But let's say someone is looking to, gain weight. People always talk about, for me, for example, I weigh about 190 pounds. My wingspan is pretty long. I'm by about 7 foot wingspan. They're looking to gain weight, right? And they have a challenge. They don't know what to eat. They don't know what kind of protein should they be taking. What would you tell that person?
So first thing is, of course, weigh yourself. Weigh yourself today. So let's imagine, for Hanny, you're weighing 190, 200 pounds, right? So let's say we take the number 190. So for 190, you want to be eating to start with at least a gram of protein per body weight. So we're looking to eat at least 190 today. Now, from there, the next goal is what is the weight I want to be? Right? So let's say for me, I'm thinking, okay, I want to gain, let's say 5 pounds of muscle in next 3 months, right? Because again, how much muscle you can gain, it depending on a person. But to find out that, initially we have to make sure that we're eating right. So it will start, of course, with per gram of body weight, right? So 190 grams of protein. Now, from the next part is training to failure. That's the second part. So, you were telling me that, some days you don't feel, the best of motivation and you go to the gym, you feel well. So when you're trying to gain muscle and gain size, you have to train to failure almost each set. So what that means is, let's say I'm doing a bicep curl and I'm going to do 12 reps, okay? So onto the 12 repetition, I should have a weight that makes me feel the rep, okay? because it's about giving everything 100% on each set. So the body feels like, okay, you know what? This person is putting themselves with a lot of work, and to be able to continuously do that work, I have to grow. Because body needs a reason to grow. And when it has a reason to grow, how can it grow without food? So first thing, per pound of your body weight, 1 gram of protein, and training to failure 3 to 5 times a week. That'll be your basic start.
No, I like that. I think once you start eating the food, nutrition is coming in, you're working out, a progressive overload. You probably hear that word a lot.
That's training to failure, brother.
You gotta train. So that's the one that I'm increasing more as I go, as I train more. It's like, how do I just try to maintain, but at the same time add muscle as well too. So it's challenging, but as long as you're willing to stick it out and be consistent, I think it's rewarding. And so on the opposite is someone who wants to lose weight, right? Because you probably hear this a lot. You hear someone, oh, I'm just gonna do more treadmill, oh, I'm gonna do more this. But I've came to realize that's not what it really is. You know what I mean? You told me multiple times. So what's the secret to losing weight, bro?
So losing weight, right? Let's reword it. We're focusing on losing fat, right? Not losing weight. Because the fact is, when you're trying to focus on losing weight, you can just cut your water out, cut your salt out, sugar out, which a lot of people do. Go on like this aggressive diet for a week, and they feel like, oh, I've lost 10 pounds. Guess what? Next day, it comes back just from drinking water, right? So, of course, we're not going to be doing those practices. The ideal way to start, of course, again, look at your body weight, okay? Look at your body weight and start actually focusing on eating more protein. The reason being is, when you eat more protein, you are retaining the muscle you have. So if you have, let's say, 30% body fat, right? You're starting very, very on the low end, right? 30% body fat, and you're looking to lose that body fat. You want to keep the muscle, because muscle is the energy spending engine. Muscles move all day and they spend a lot of energy. So just by having more muscle, you burn more fat. Right? So initially the goal is, again, eat your protein, right? So, 1 gram per body weight, right? And fill the rest with carbs or fat, okay? So if you have a plate like this, that plate should have at least 60% protein, and then 30% carbs, 10% fat, each meal that you're having. And also eating a little bit less in terms of calories. So let's say 190 grams is your protein, right? You're eating in a day. That fills up 1,000 to 1,500 calories. And you, as a regular person average, 2,000 calories is the daily limit. So the rest of the 300 calories, you can fit in with carbs and fat. But the goal is, if you only focus on calories and not the protein, you might end up, eating 1,500, but 1,500 calories of rice or sushi. So that's not going to really help. So if I have to make it short, the 3 things would be, again, focusing on your protein, 1 gram per body weight, right? And then using the rest to fill with carbs and fat, and start with 100 calories less than you eat normally. So let's say and this is now, we have ChatGPT, honestly, guys. If you really want to find it out, the easiest way, the way you can figure it out, put your age, put your height, put your weight into ChatGPT, okay? And then ask ChatGPT, what is my maintenance calorie every day? Whatever the calorie comes down to, 2,000, 3,000 calories, minus 100 from next day. So this is your New Year's. Start from tomorrow. You can do that from tomorrow. It's not too hard.
No, I like that. ChatGPT is the sauce nowadays. That's the new sauce.
Of course.
Nowadays, AI can literally give you a meal prep. It can tell you how to start a business, how to literally find a relationship, a mate. You can literally give it everything, man.
Nowadays, and you know how to use it, right?
Yeah. AI is crazy, man. And I think it's the most powerful tool that we have today. And people keep making excuses, man. Like, where should I get started? Like, I need your help. I'm like, bro, it's all there, man, but you're not looking, man. So I think it's kind of crazy. I like the way you broke it down, the calories, but at the end of the day, if you're consuming a lot of calories and not enough protein, that's when the fat really comes in. And I think that's one thing that I'm struggling with right now is I know I'm eating more carbs, but I know I should be eating more protein. So it's never a win-win. It's always going to be the struggle, but you have to fix it in order to get those muscles. And especially going back to wanting to gain strength. It's part of it, right? So Abel, tell me, man, people always have an excuse about, their health, or like, I don't know, right now I'm just too busy. I don't know where,
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. I don't have, the motivation. What do you tell those people who are just sitting on the sidelines, man, who are just, just saying, oh, I'll get to it, next week, I'll get to it next month or next year.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest thing being in the industry that we hear often, right? That, hey, right now I'm dealing with this, and I will start from tomorrow or next week, right? So my question to you is, do you want the change today or tomorrow? Like, what is the answer? Today or tomorrow? Mm-hmm. If you want to make a decision today, right? Today I'm only making decision. Think about this. If I want to have a successful business, right? Like Hani, if I want to have a successful business, right? Can I have the successful business tomorrow? Definitely no. Mm-hmm. Do I want to have the successful business today? If that's a yes, what do? I start working on it, right? So if I'm a person and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to focus on my health 3 weeks later, that 3 weeks might never come, right? So the first thing would be, let's focus from today. Let's focus on tonight's dinner. Let's focus on today's workout, right? That today, let's say I can't have a perfect workout, but I want to change. Okay, let's go for a little walk. Let's take that walk. Tonight, let's have a little bit more protein, Let's skip the snacks tonight for a little bit. So it all starts from today, If you want to make a change, you turn the switch today. If you wait for tomorrow or somebody else to come and do it, you might just end up ER. Might just end up in ER, right? It's snowing, if you are somebody, let's say you haven't worked on your mobility, you have worked on your flexibility, right? You are always sitting down, not focusing on your health. You're shoveling your snow in your driveway. You slipped, you're in ER. How does that sound? Do you want to be there tomorrow? Or do you want to be in a space where you can help somebody out? Let's say, in this space, paramedics get stuck. You're a fit person. You can go out there, shovel the paramedic out. You can help somebody else. You can help your family more. Your partner, spouse, something happens to them, you can take care of them because you are in a physical condition to be able to do that. Now, do you want to be that, or do you want to wait for tomorrow?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, man. I think people overthink it too much. They think, oh, should I get started next? But then you realize time is the only thing you can't get back.
Of course.
You can always make more money. You can always do the things that you say you're going to do. But once time goes, you can't get it back, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think your greatest asset is actually not money, it's time.
Yeah.
Right. And so how are we spending our time? What are the things that we're doing every single day to get to our goals, to our destination? And I always like Atomic Habit, that book, because James Clear talks about you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So the quicker you can put systems into your life, right? Like working out, like taking care of your health and your wealth, and the easier it's going to get. Because one thing I've realized is just doing different things, whether it's marketing, sales, building systems, is that they don't happen right away. They take time.
Yes.
To become a content creator, people think, oh, you start today and by the next 5 months you're gonna get better. No, it's repetition. The more you do it, the better you get. It's the same thing with health, right? And so I think we can put systems in place where it becomes repeatable for us to remember these things. It becomes a habit.
Yes.
And what most people lack is they don't lack motivation, right? They just lack discipline, and they lack a system.
Yes.
Because once the system comes in hand, now it's like when you wake up and you brush your teeth. That's a system you have.
Yes.
Well, you don't know it, but that's something you do every single day.
Yes.
And so I think subconsciously, a lot of us are programmed with the things that we're doing. But if we can feed our mind with good things, with positive things, that's going to give us better systems. It's going to give us hope and purpose. Because I think we're all looking for meaning in this life. If you look at your life, it's, health is going to give you a meaning. Okay, I want to be a strong man. I want to be fit. When I go out there in networking events, when I meet people, when I shake their hands, oh, this guy is like, he's firm. He's actually a man. When they see me talking, they're like, yo, this guy can actually stand up and actually, like, they're not just listening to a guy who's just, just has a business and, who's not motivated to. So when they see me in the gym, when they see me in the community, they know, okay, it makes sense now. We can kind of see what's happening. So that's a great reminder, Abel. So Abel, what does the future look like for what you're looking to build, man? And what your message is for the next generation of people who are going to be listening to this, man? What would be one word of advice for them?
Yeah, of course. Keep trying. That's the biggest thing. Keep trying. regardless whatever it is in your life you want to do, your passion, your health, your business, your family, the care you want to put, or even your devotion to God, keep trying to be better. Don't like set a threshold that, hey, I think only I can do this, or this is my limit. Don't limit yourself to that. Keep trying to break that barrier every day. And by the time you know it, you're going to be so far ahead than you started.
No, I think you have to give one more. I always like the power of one more. Like
Yes.
one
more rep. You always gotta go one more rep. That's everything.
One more call, one more meet event. So yeah, man, Abel, I really appreciate it, bro. And like I said, me and you have built a friendship,
Of
right?
course.
It's been beyond. That's the thing about. I tell people all the time, if you want to build a brotherhood, it's with sports, it's with fitness.
Of course.
Right? That's how you can really build a brotherhood. And working with you has been a great experience to see the other side of what your body truly is like. And I think we're going to continue to work together. And you also have a business as well. So tell our audience where they can find you and where is your business located.
Yeah, so my business is at 196 Osborne Street, and we are working on the second floor of table space. And if you're somebody looking to, start out, or even a seasoned athlete looking to work on their flexibility, mobility, Abel is always there to help you. Regardless where you're coming from, I will meet you where we are, and we will have fun, and we'll make progress every day, each session.
Awesome. Where could they find your social media, website?
Yeah, so they can find me on handsonrecovery.ca. Again, handsonrecovery.ca. You can visit it online and you can read more about what I do. And also, if you want to find me on Instagram, you can go into handsonrecovery.wpg. Again, handsonrecovery.wpg. I post there every day. I'm always posting exercises that can help you. Also, what I go through in my storytelling as well, what makes Abel, and how we can help you. So always shoot me a DM if you have any questions. You can always call on my phone number and business number as well, which is 204-979-3084. Again, obsessed about the business, so available almost 24/7. Reach out and we'll help you out.
I love my brother. It's a good, man. It's a pleasure. And thank you for being on the show, bro. So this is the Riot Podcast. My name is Hani Mahari. Stay tuned for the next episode. We out.
All right.
My brother.